It's time to bring the action. Speed Racing Network's 5th season is officially here, and I welcome you all here to virtual Daytona. The party is about to get started. I am Emerson Arden, and my good friend and colleague Landon Cardulo is alongside myself in the virtual booth this evening, and we're very excited to be bringing you live coverage from the virtual Daytona International Speedway here on the iRacing.com motorsport simulations platform. Landon, there's no more waiting around. The Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series is here, and why don't you go ahead and set the stage for our season opener.
Man, Emerson, we're here at Daytona, one of the fastest tracks on the surface. This place is awesome. 31 degrees banking in the turns, 18 degrees banking at the start-finish line. Over 3,800 feet from the length of the backstretch. It's fast, and we've got a lot of trucks on this surface tonight ready to make some noise.
Absolutely, it is bad fast tonight, and of course it's the season opener, so we don't have points to really go over tonight, Landon, but we do have some teams to talk about this evening. Landon, you ready to go through them, man?
Sure am.
All right, well, let's go ahead and run them. Let's see the teams that the squads that these teams are bringing to the table this evening and over the course of our 20 race season tonight for the Glytch Truck Series. It's time to meet the teams, and starting up right here, team number 1, we got 777 Motorsports, Jay McDonald, a great driver to have, very experienced here in the Speed Racing Network series of leagues.
And second team coming up, we got Ions Motorsports. I mean, there's a lot of familiar faces right here. Sean Jensen, Cole Martin, Michael York.
Yeah, Flamin' Karma. We got a bunch of new guys here ready to leave their mark here in the Speed Racing Network Glytch Truck Series.
And a familiar team here, Gear Up Motorsports. We got Timothy Latham, Doc Holliday, Jordan Sailors, definitely going to bring some heat to this race.
Of course, can't forget about Jonathan Byer Racing. A lot of great names here. Dean Brummett, a name that comes to mind here, a legend in the Speed Racing Network series of leagues.
And new team pilot with familiar faces, Ryan Johnson, super fast driver, same with Michael Politis.
Tank Racing bringing the heat as always, Joshua Balliet, Reese Schaefer, Devin Zimmerman, some normal faces, Landon Lacey making a return. And how about our independent drivers here? Some guys that just haven't found a home just yet, Landon, but we may see some teams pick these guys up as a result of their performances tonight here in our season opener.
Oh, definitely. And at this point in time, I mean, it's race one. It's time to go, but it's also not time to go, you know? So being an independent driver, I wouldn't worry too much unless you like being by yourself, but there's definitely going to be a lot of teams out there looking for that extra speed.
Absolutely. And talking about speed, Landon, these drivers have been hard at work getting up to speed tonight. There's 4 minutes left in the warm-up session this evening, Landon. There's no qualifying tonight. Qualifying order was set by the duels last week, and of course we saw Joshua Balliet take duel number 1 in a very calm, cool, collected duel up until like those final 5 laps, and the 3 wide racing started to really spool up and land. And duel number 2 was a little bit more chaotic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, it wasn't as chaotic as you think it would, but towards the middle, towards the end, we started getting a little bit of feisty race in there. So a couple cautions, but you know what? We got a great group of drivers tonight, and I'm expecting a clean race here tonight.
Well, here we go, taking a look at some of the field out there around the track, getting up to speed, feeling it out with some of the guys they haven't seen before, just getting reacquainted with some of the guys they have seen before. With 3 minutes left here in practice, taking a look at this, looks like about 9-10 truck pack on the back straightaway. Kind of watching Jay McDonald there at a 777 Motorsports, and bear with us as we start to familiarize ourselves with names we maybe have seen before, but maybe they're in new places, and other names that we are still figuring out because we haven't seen them before. But here we got a lot of momentum on that high side here, and that's gonna be another thing we're gonna talk about tonight, Landon. The strength in numbers, strength in organization in these lines tonight.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to find out what lane is the preferred lane. You know, usually you see a lot of races where people choose the top lane, people choose the bottom lane. I mean, even people choose the middle lane, but you know, we're at Daytona, anything can happen. And going back to what you're saying about the teams and the new drivers, I mean, we're all here now. It's, you know, there's no duels. We're all together, and I'm excited to see what these drivers think of the drivers that they didn't get to race with last week.
Absolutely. Before we get things too far along here, I do want to grab a word with our pole sitter last week while we've got, or I'm sorry, pole sitter this week while we got a moment. Joshua Balliet and Mal. It's been a very nice week for you to kind of leave last week knowing that you'll be the one controlling the field coming to the green tonight. But what is going through your mind with this 28 truck pack that's getting ready to roar right behind you?
Just hope I'm lucky enough tonight. That's about it at a Super Speedway. Hopefully luck's on my side.
Absolutely. And while you're going to be fending hard up there, not too many teammates around you. You're, of course, one of the very experienced drivers in Speed Racing Network. You'll find your friends. You'll get used to some of those names. But new guys, I know that's always a thing. But this is a new twist to Speed Racing Network. There's a bunch of new guys here tonight. What's that going to be like getting acclimatized to some of the new names?
Well, at the end of the day, when you're, especially with these trucks, when you're kind of stuck in a lane, you just hope for the best. Even if it's a new person that you're not really been around at all, you just hope for the best, and hopefully you can hang.
Well, there you go. Joshua Balliet, our pole sitter this evening, just did a quick little pit practice run there. That's going to be a key factor tonight too, Landon, is coming down to pit lane speed.
Yes, Emerson. I mean, you just want to see it, honestly. I mean, as a fan, as everything, you like to see the drama, as you'd say, and the excitement, and trying to get on pit road to meet the speed, to make sure that you're straight and not have any issues. I think it's probably the toughest challenge at this racetrack. I mean, you got to be on point when you're trying to get into your pit box, because you got 20 cars going with you.
Absolutely. It is like rush hour. It is a rush hour like no other, coming to pit lane at a super speedway under green flag conditions. You're merging from 180 miles an hour off the racing surface, decelerating 120 miles an hour down to 60, all while you're all trying to funnel into 2 lanes of traffic, and then also find a parking space, a designated parking space on the left side. That is just about the story it is to pitting here at Daytona. So here we go, Landon. Joshua Balliet, Justin Michael, the front row. Let's see if we have a starting lineup that we can show for our driver, our series tonight. And yes, we do. Here we go. Yeah, you can talk about it. Row number 1, Joshua Balliet, Justin Michael. Row 2, Timothy Latham and Jordan Sailors. Row number 3, it's Lane Doyle and Austin Purnell. Row number 4, Sean Jensick, Brad Herman. And rounding out the top 10, Kyle Westwood and Alb Hewins. Landon, take us to the next 10.
All right, starting 11th, we have Gerald Poole. In number 12, we got Bradley Brandon. 13th, Devin Zimmerman. 14th, Byron McDonald. That's a guy we've seen quite a bit around here. Starting 15th, Reese Schaefer. 16th, Tyler Markle.
Starting in the 17th position, we got Michael Politis in the number 77 machine, Lane Hosler, to start their 18th position. Rounding out the top 20, Michael York, Craig Schroeder. Those 2 drivers rounding out row number 10. Now kind of looking at the rear end of the field this evening, we've got Ryan Johnson and Bobby Anderson. A couple of names here. Ryan Johnson, of course, big name when it comes to truck racing here in Speed Racing Network. Made a move to Cup last season. Cole Martin makes a return to Speed Racing Network. Brian McAvoy starting 24th. Couple new name there. Kyle Gilbert starts 25th. Josh Mueller returns to Speed Racing Network competition. He'll start 26th. Dean Brummeth will start 27th. Has a little bit of work to do if he's going to show his nose tonight. Nathan Nixon 28th, and rounding out our 15 row grid, Matthew Johnson and Mark Morton. The 15 rows, the 30 drivers ready to do battle tonight, Landon.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, definitely a 30 group of guys out here. It's gonna be fun. So I'm excited to see how this race goes and make sure we bring those belts tight and get going.
Absolutely. It's been a long off season, Landon, but a lot of things changed here at Speed Racing Network. And of course, we're all looking to see what can we do now. Kind of turning over a new leaf for a lot of these guys, but a lot of familiar names, a lot of new names. As the field of 30 Glytch Truck Series trucks roars off the banking. The iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane. The field in the hands of Joshua Balliet. And we are racing from Daytona. A calm and clean first lap tonight as Justin Michael has gone to the point, Landon, from that outside starting position. And Joshua Balliet has followed in line behind. Jordan Saylor's third and is dueling it out there for the fourth position between Purnell and Timothy Latham.
Yeah, Emerson, this is the time where you kind of want to get coordinated with your team. I know it's only lap 2, but this is where all the strategy starts, all the moves get starting, you know, towards the back, and just want to make sure that your car or truck is good enough to be where it's at.
Absolutely. A lot of these guys are still feeling it out. Nobody really aggressively pushing the issue right now, and as they should. It's a long race. You have a stage caution that's planned out at lap 20 for you tonight, Landon. That's another thing. There's a race within the race. There's some points for grabs, and we're going 3 wide for the race lead. Balliet maybe to the sucker hole, but looks like Purnell jumps up with no help. He's trying to weasel himself back in line. Jordan Saylor's to the back end of the 13 machine, and Michael holds station.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see. You know, it like I said, it's lap 3. The guy on the outside gets kind of shifted to the middle, and everybody just kind of backs up. And that was kind of an aggressive move there. I wasn't expecting that, but Joshua Balliet back to the point.
Yeah, Balliet, he jumped up trying to get to the outside of Michael. Purnell jumped up to make it 3 wide, and Purnell realized he had not too much of a run, followed back in behind Balliet, and now Balliet used JBR teammates kind of against each other there to get himself to the lead, and now it's Purnell and Michael that are running side by side for that second position, and Purnell trying to get something moving on the high side.
Yeah, and if you're JBR driver right now, you just kind of want to look at it and be like, I think we're in a good spot here. I mean, we're controlling most of the inside lane and the outside lane, so at that point you can kind of do what you please with whatever run, especially when you're on the outside. But if I'm somebody in the back, I want to get coordinated with the teammate that I have at that moment, or if you don't have a teammate, find one and then start making moves.
On board with Reese Schaefer back in the 23rd position. And you can kind of see the energy in this pack. This inside lane not really moving all too much. The outside lane has got a lot of momentum in its favor.
Yeah,
being put on display here.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised this outside. Oh, as we get another change for the lead. Austin Purnell to the top spot.
And how about Alb Hewins, a new guy, coming up to the top spot and wants a piece of the action. Hewins wants to make his name known here in Speed Racing Network and looking to get his first laps led early here on the season. It's Purnell still with the advantage down low, but as they run through the trial, Hewins trying to see if he can get the lap at the line, and he might have just done so as Purnell lags out a little bit there, but Hewins to the point.
Yeah, and you're a driver right now on the inside. You're just taking it easy, making sure you don't hit that yellow line, slide up the track at all, because as of right now, we're clean, and this is what you this is what you're hoping for the whole race.
Absolutely. And you get a nice wide shot of the field. Everybody's still in tow for the most part. We can even check in on Cole Martin, who's back here, but very much still in the lead pack. I think everybody understands that there's a stage caution. There's no need to make any drastic moves. But the outside lane starting to pick up momentum now. Hewins now is pulling, looks like that is Bradley Brandon in tow. And now Tyler Merkel is going to go up to third. And the outside lane, all of a sudden, Landon, is becoming very, very powerful.
Yeah, it's all about momentum. And as you can tell, I mean, the inside lane has just the same amount of cars as the outside. But if you kind of look, the inside's kind of, you know, they're not really nose to tail at all. They got a car length gap, half a car length gap in between them. But the outside is definitely pushing, try to get that run on the outside.
Tyler Markle drops down. He's looking for the lead. Bradley Brandon stays up high. Lane Hosler now fills in that spot as the third truck on the outside. Now, Markle tried to hope for some help from Purnell and Balliet, but maybe he's going to try to get to the front on his own with no help. Now loses a little momentum, needs a little bit of a boost, but it's Hewins that holds station up front. 8 laps complete, the 88 out in front.
I know, and I'm over here talking about teams, and it doesn't look like any teammates are helping each other at the moment. But hey, that's Daytona, and you know that happens. But you just want to be safe. I mean, we're 8 laps in at a 75, and you don't want to put you or somebody else in danger of getting a wreck truck because we don't have any of the fast repairs tonight or in this session or the rest of the season. Sorry. So it's just maintaining the speed, maintaining the spot, getting out of everybody else's carnage.
Bradley Brandon drops down, and now surges to the inside. A boost from Tyler Markle, and Bradley Brandon will lead at the completion of lap number 8. I misspoke last lap. They started lap number 8 last time around, but it's a 35 that leads at the end of 8. Bradley Brandon finding a friend in a 42 Tyler Markle. Gives him a little boost at the front. Lane Hosler, he'll take that spot as well. Puts him second truck on the outside lane. Now trying to get a little boost from, looks like that is Craig Schroeder in the 10 truck up high. And also I believe is that Jordan Saylor is trying to continue to make some noise up there.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, there's a little bit of every team up here. You got JBR, You got Flaming Karma. There's a little bit of Ions Motorsports up here as well. It's just a big mix of drivers, and like I mentioned, you don't really see a group of guys that are just on one team that are trying to just keep calm and stay back and wait for all the carnage to happen.
Surging out ahead is that outside lane, and it starts to look like now, Landon, if you haven't found your friends, maybe you're starting to look at what's going on up front. Maybe your teammates are feeding you information later in the race. Everybody's watching right now. The 88 truck is a great lead truck right now. He is towing that outside lane along, and he drops down. He's bringing 3 trucks down to the bottom with him. And you make note of that, Landon. If you can tell what number is doing that, what number is controlling the race, you're telling yourself, if I see that 88 back here, later in the race, I'm linking up and following him to the front.
Oh, absolutely, Emerson. And you can kind of judge it off of who wants to be, I wouldn't say impatient, but who wants to go in the very beginning, get some laps led. And you see that quite often. You see some people go in the very beginning, get those laps led, get that bonus point, and then kind of just drop back. And then that's just kind of testing out the waters. I mean, do you really want to be in the front or do you want to be in the back? I mean, either way, if you have a teammate who's leading the race, or somewhat in the middle pack, they can call out the wrecks when maybe you can't see them.
Absolutely. So there's plenty of forms of teamwork that is happening right now. I'm sure everyone, for the most part, is communicating to better benefit everyone, if possible. taking a look at it, we might have just barely lost 2 drivers from this pack. We'll take a quick look at York and Martin. Nope, they'll reel them back in. We still have all 30 alive here through 11, working lap 12. Jordan Sailor's now a boost from Timothy Latham and trying to make some noise on the high side. And now you see less trucks on that high lane, Landon, but they're more organized.
Yeah, Emerson. And if you're looking at our leaderboard right now, I mean, it's guys that we're all familiar with. You got Sailors and Latham and Hosler and Doyle. I mean, they're up there trying to make some noise in the very beginning. So, you know, if I'm running, I mean, you probably know this as well. I mean, for me personally, I'd want to be in the back, and I've started in the back many times, and it's also hasn't helped me at all. But for this race, I mean, with a lot of new guys and beginning of the season, I don't know.
Isn't that the beauty of it, Landon? Nobody knows. We're all learning at the same time. We're all figuring this out. We're all getting used to one another. And to add on to the fact, nobody knows what is going to happen at the end of next lap. Once, you know, what's that, 62 laps from now. We don't know what's going to happen, man. That's the beauty of it. That's the ride we're here for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't even think they know what's going to happen at the end of this lap. So, I mean, it's a mystery. In Daytona, like I mentioned, you're going so fast, and whenever there's a wreck, it's hard to slow your truck down. And I mean, it's a huge track, and you got plenty of time. But if you got somebody wrecking above you or below you, and they're sliding down, trust me, it is hard to dodge that person.
Lane Doyle to the point after Jordan Sailors had a brief stint out in front, led a lap. How about Nathan Nixon? Landon, didn't we say this name started back in 29th? He is up here, plus 24. Also with the 8 truck of Mark Morton. Both of those drivers started on the last row of the grid. And here they are, nose to tail, trying to take the lead of this race.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, these guys are ready to go, and not to mention, I mean, we got 5 more laps until the end of the stage, and if nobody knows, I mean, the top 10 get bonus points. That is huge thing. So you're at that point in time in the race where, you know, stage is coming up, you're thinking about it, and you're like, okay, well, let's get a run. Let's find out who our real friend is in this race, and let's see if we can make some hay. Inside, outside, middle lane, you know, whatever lane works. So I think everybody's starting to go now for those stage points.
Absolutely. And so, Nathan Nixon, Mark Morton, the 2 drivers who started shotgun on the field, they are now plus 27 and plus 28. They are first and second, and in a few more seconds, they are now clear out in front of the field if they want to drop down, and they do. They completed the last to first challenge in just a little over 15 complete laps.
Yeah, it's it's cool to see that, you know, definitely the hard charger right there. But I don't know, man. This outside lane just seems to be proven that it is the most dominant lane this race so far.
Absolutely. The outside lane is just towing people along, and it almost begs the question, why do you leave the outside lane? Might as well just buckle up and follow where it takes you.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you would think, right? But, you know, there's a lot of factors in that. You could be getting a little too hot, and like we've seen right here, the outside lane seems to be more compact within each other. So everybody's starting to, you know, are being bumper to bumper, so you kind of see some people kind of getting out of the line just to cool off their engines, just to make sure that there is no wreck, again, with 3 laps to go in the stage. I mean, that obviously we've all seen a lot of real racing on TV, and you know how hectic it gets when it's the last lap of the stage.
Absolutely, and I have a feeling it's starting to ramp up here. 3 laps to go before our stage yellow. Craig Schroeder, Mark Morton, the top two. Nathan Nixon chugging along inside the second truck in the inside lane. It's Alb Hewins, the outside push truck. And from then on, we have Lane Doyle and Gerald Poole, Jordan Saylor, Sean Jensick, Brad Herman, Timothy Latham, the top 10 right now. But will that hold serve over the course of the next 6 or so miles, Landon? We're gonna find out right here.
Yeah, I honestly don't think so. I think if you're sitting probably 3-4 rows back, it's go time. I mean, you're already up there enough to get stage points. Why not get some more? And you want to do it carefully, but some people in their minds are like, oh, let's get the full 10. Let's get those stage points to be better for the next race. So, I mean, like we mentioned before, I mean, the charge to first is crazy because we're looking right now, and Joshua Balliet's back in the 20th, I believe 23rd. The 23rd position. So he's taking it easy and kind of seeing how this race will go for him.
That's crazy. The track position he had, and all of a sudden, he finds himself on the other end of it. But he also trusts in the process. Anything can happen at Daytona. He's not worried about it. Also, one thing these drivers may be worried about, though, is 1 lap to go in stage 1. Mark Morton, Craig Schroeder still dueling it out at the front of the field. Which line will prevail?
Yeah, and these drivers got to just remember that this is not the final lap of the race. So you definitely don't want to put you or your team in jeopardy at this point, at this moment.
Here we go. A lot of momentum. Now to the outside. It's Hewins shoving Schroeder out in front. On the inside, it's trying to be Mark Morton and Nathan Nixon out 3 wide as the truck shoves through. Oh, we got a wreck in the back. That looks like a Sean Jensick involved. Gerald Poole, and the caution's gonna come out, and it's Mark Morton, the leader, at the end of stage 1, and mayhem behind.
Well, I just got news, Emerson, that we both were misunderstood. So actually, the stage ends on lap 25, not lap 20.
Well, now we're gonna be getting, looks like a little bit of a restart before our stage, but Sean Jensick looks like he might have been going for the stage a little too soon. In massive trouble there, and well, that'll do it for Sean.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what happened there. Again, sorry for the miscommunication there, but it is lap 25 for the stage in. So hopefully none of these drivers were listening in and thinking it was lap 20. If so, that's that's kind of on us.
Take a look at it, and we'll catch it a little late there. Let's see. Let's go and get that replay queued up for y'all. So this is starting this final, well, what we thought was the final lap of the stage, and Sean Jensick, unfortunately, it looks like the livery did not load in for Sean, but he's one of those white trucks up on the high side. And we'll see here. Just the absolute storm up the field for these drivers. Here we go, and it's Gerald Poole who jumps to the inside and comes up just right in front of Jensick, nowhere to go. Unluckily for Sean Jensick, I'm sorry, yeah, that was Jensick who came up in front of Gerald Poole, but luckily it was only 1 truck involved, really 2 trucks.
Yeah, looking at that, and it's Yeah, a lot of guys are going, and it just seems that looks like Sean just came up just a little bit, or it could have been what we call in iRacing terms net code, and that's unfortunate, especially this early in the race. But Sean's a very fast driver, and definitely won't be shouldn't be too sad because he'll be there the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Once again, just take a look at it. Sean just maybe comes up a little bit. Maybe Gerald Poole comes down a little bit. Maybe that's another thing we'd have to see if we can figure out. Unfortunately, the caution comes out as a result. I'll try to get one more view of it. Here's on board with Gerald Poole. I mean, it's just 3 wide. It's so hard to tell there.
Yeah, it definitely is, and that could be just a misjudgment of maybe trying to think that he was clear, trying to go to the top lane. Sean was, but it's a racing incident. It's something that you can't control, but you can control. I sort of say, but definitely again unfortunate for Sean to get taken out so early in this race. But like I mentioned, he's a fast guy, and he'll be back the rest of the season.
So, we sure we're going to lap 25 for this stage?
Well, I just got told that this is actually the stage break. So, this is a stage break. I'm 99.9% sure. But if it is not, I will get told otherwise. So,
Well, I guess that's the beauty of it, Lena. We're all finding out, right? We're all trying to figure this out. So we'll just see what the case may be. So it was Mark Morton who led at the caution period, but it's now Justin Michael, who was our outside pole sitter. He got some laps led earlier, Landon. He's back up front with now control of the race. He's got Jordan Sailors, who's outside, Timothy Latham, Lane Doyle, Brad Herman. Intriguing spot to be in. And only 4 trucks are going to be lined up here on the outside lane. And so, the iRacing.com safety vehicle finds its safety in the pit lane. And we are racing once again from Daytona. Justin Michael was shoved up the track. He falls back. The 3rd truck on the outside lane. Now Hewins and Sailors duel it out at the front of the field. Jordan Sailors the only Ford in the field. Nope, Craig Schroeder is also a Ford. But 2 Fords in the field in this massive field of Chevys. Trying to find their way through. And Jordan Sailors fighting against the odds on the inside. Hewins and Nixon, the power of the outside with them.
yeah, how about Hewins and Sailors? I mean, they it feels like they've been up there since the very beginning of the race. So it's good to see them two running up front, and Alp Hewins being one of the newcomers to SRN. Good to see him making a name for himself, and Jordan Sailors just showing the dominant self that he was in the previous seasons. But looking back to that last wreck, I'm not too sure if the 13 of Justin Michael got any damage from that. It did look like he kind of clipped the back end of one of the drivers, but I could be wrong.
Well, it was an intriguing thought there, Landon, because he did pit. Everyone pitted on the yellow, but he came out as the leader. And then immediately got shuffled back.
Yeah, it's definitely something we'd have to keep an eye on. I'm not sure if that damage, or if he has any damage, kind of became a parachute, so that's why he jumped to the outside. But if he pitted and if it was enough to fix, then he should be okay.
Well, here we go once again. Sailors powering up the inside, trying to see if there's anything to hold serve down there. Lane Doyle giving a big shove, but Hewins and Nixon just no match. The outside back once again in the favor of the 88.
Yeah, man, I haven't seen one of them restarts in a while. I mean, there's only 4 cars on the outside, so that definitely that definitely caused a little shakeup in the back, with everybody trying to jump to the outside and kind of get that run going again. But like I mentioned, I haven't seen one of those since the old NASCAR days.
Yeah, it definitely did look like one of those old restarts you would see on NR 2003, or just in real life. Only if so many drivers doubled up after a long green flag run, caution comes out, only 8 trucks on the lead lap. That's the kind of restart you got there. But I think a lot of those guys, they came in again, Lane. They wanted to top off on fuel because we're right there, I think, at the point where we can make it a one-stop race.
Yeah, and that's when it's you're being smart and then trying to figure out how much fuel you got to make it, how much fuel you got, if you can even make it. And with iRacing, I mean, you are so
Ewan
close.
shuffled out of line. Now Sailors and Nixon, they split the 88. All of a sudden, one of the dominant drivers of the day gets shuffled out of line. I'm sure he'll be back, but they just split V88, and they split on him. They absolutely left him. He falls back to 6th. That's where he'll find his spot in line. We'll see how aggressive he will be to get back towards the front. But now Nathan Nixon grabs another lap lead.
Yeah, we really wasn't expecting that. I mean, we're only 29 laps in, so a couple guys making it a little aggressive here at still the beginning of the race. But I guess we shall see for the rest.
Yeah, again, Sailor's trying to make something work, just not getting the push he needs. And now, how about the 58 here? That is Kyle Gilbert making some noise, trying to put his name out there, get himself some TV time, and get himself involved in this race.
Yeah, funny going back to that with Albert Hewins getting pushed out. I mean, the 58 and the 15 aren't even teammates. So, I mean, when you talk about making a friend, I mean, that's how you show it right there. You go with the guy in front of you and you just stick with him.
Absolutely, but they've showed their card early. Now, will that come back to bite them in the long run? Will be another factor to think about. Will Hewins be able to garnish up a group of trucks and just fly by the top 2 that are now pulling out in front of the field, Landon? Kyle Gilbert, Nathan Nixon out in front, opening up a gap. And will they stay up high? Will they drop down low? They're thinking about doing both, really. But looks like the decision is to stay up high. Maybe try to go down low. They're sitting in the middle of the track right now, actually.
Yeah, that run amazed me. I mean, the 15 is locked, or the 58, sorry, is locked on the 15's bumper. So that 58's got a lot of speed, especially being in the front. So you just want to kind of minimize that run and make sure that you kind of making sure you watch both lanes, because you definitely don't want to be in the Alb Hewins situation where you get pushed to the middle.
Take a look at the track map of these drivers. You can see just how packed up the field is. You'd have to imagine here, Landon. I mean, you go to a race at a super speedway and you go to a race at a super speedway and the whole field is packed up, and they're running 47-second lap times. They blow by you, and then for 40 seconds of the lap, it's silent almost.
Yeah, it's definitely not fun Definitely not fun at all. But this is such a.
It could be fun.
I mean, it could. I mean, you're staying away from all the carnage, but you know, it's a big enough track that you kind of get some peace and quiet. You know, throwing a little tunes, just relax.
I don't know if anyone's throwing tunes at a NASCAR race, but I would love to see it actually. Most of the field, they get single filed here. Only 4 trucks in the entire field on the outside lane now, Landon.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I mentioned at the beginning of this race. You know, what lane is going to be the dominant lane? And I mentioned that, or we saw that the outside lane was really, really fast. I mean, the first couple, the first 25, 30 laps. But now we're seeing everybody kind of calm down, kind of know what their truck feels like, and everybody's going to the bottom and just, I think they're going to stay there until either they have to come pit or it's go time.
It seems like it. And we'll ride on board Gerald Poole, the last truck in line. And you can see it, Landon. Only 3 trucks in the entire field on the outside lane. Everyone else is single file.
Yeah, and if you're Gerard Poole right now, you're sitting in a comfortable spot. I mean, you still got the draft. You got nobody too close in front of you. You got nobody behind you. I'm not sure if he's losing the draft here, but
remember, he's got damage from the caution.
Oh yeah, that is correct. I mean, damage here, it can go both ways. You can't be a pusher from if you got nose damage, but you can definitely be somebody who's getting pushed. So I wouldn't really count him out of this race.
Oh, by no means, I think, should anyone be counting anybody out. But it's just crazy to think, he's right there at the back of the field. He almost lost it, but he was able to close that gap. And, well, here it is, Landon. The one truck now, the sole. Well, no, there's another truck that jumped up there, but it is Matthew Johnson getting a run, and he's going for it. He's going to the front. Oh, my goodness. Matthew Johnson all the way up to the 4th position. What was the lone truck on that outside lane?
Yeah, and Ryan's been one of the guys that you've seen him in the past in the SRN trucks, and he's dominant. He's very fast. I mean, I spent my whole season chasing after him pretty much, but he's very aggressive. Not towards anybody else, but when it comes to racing and getting to the front, he's a very aggressive driver doing that. So, this
is Matthew Johnson in the one truck.
Oh, it is.
Ryan Johnson, he's back in 12th. But Matthew Johnson, he's ran an SRN before, but very seldom. And Matthew Johnson grabs a lap lead, dueling it out now with the 66 of Bobby Anderson.
Oh, well, Ryan, there's my speech for you for the day. Matthew's up here, and he's somebody that I've known for a little bit as well, and such a super, super nice guy, and nice to see him running up here as well.
So now Bobby Anderson, Nathan Nixon, Matthew Johnson, Josh Mueller, and Kyle Gilbert. If you looked at the top 5 to start this race, Landon, would you expect it this top 5 about halfway through?
No, not at all. I mean, actually, you know what? I'll change up my answer. Yeah, maybe yes. Yes, I did. I mean, it's anybody's race here.
It's Daytona.
And from the beginning, and we saw Nixon up there, and he's charging up to the front, and he's just held his spot there. So, like, it's Daytona, and anybody has a chance to win.
Like the gap from their grid position, the top 5. Bobby Anderson, plus 21. Nathan Nixon, plus 26. Josh Mueller, plus 23. Kyle Gilbert, plus 21. And Matthew Johnson, plus 24. All of them started at the back of the field.
There you go. And if you want to be one of them drivers to make a statement, I think that's how you do it right there.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of people who sit in the back and don't even try making their way up, but it just shows how good of a race car driver you are, and if you can make those moves and get past people to make yourself in position to win this thing, then considered to go as Bobby Anderson pulls out and gets some fresh, clean air on the outside.
Now, Bobby Anderson looks like he wants to take a look at the train as it blows past. Falls even behind the one truck of Matthew Johnson on the high side. What I will say, though, is coming off of turn 4, Nathan Nixon is going to lead the halfway lap here at Daytona. Half the laps complete, half the laps to go. 37. Big one still to do here at Daytona. Still a pit stop to go here at Daytona, and only one caution for incident tonight. Just the 2-truck incident between Sean Jensick and Gerald Poole. Sean Jensick, unfortunately, out of the event. Gerald Poole has now almost lost the draft, and unfortunately, I think he's at the gap where he just may lose it. And Matthew Johnson's still fighting on the outside. He had a chance to drop in, and he doesn't want to sit in line. He wants to go.
I know, this is this is actually very funny to see. He's the only driver on the outside right now, and he's making it work, and that's just crazy. I mean, it's a side draft that does that, but it's very funny to see.
Take a look at this. The static cameras, the whole field flies past. I mean, this is great.
I love it.
You just get to see them all fly past. Just the whole train.
It's nice to see that everybody's still intact, you know? This is if we could keep it like this finish is going to be something else.
I'm sure, you know, for those maybe right now, you know, who really don't have a dog in this race, maybe we're just looking for a little bit of entertainment on a Wednesday night here out of your local sim racers. I'm sure you'll be rewarded if these drivers kind of wait it out, let this race play out. You'll be rewarded with a great finish, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if we want to go back to great finishes, anybody out there who did not see the duels last week, we had 2 photo finishes. I mean, that's for Daytona. I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, it's not crazy. It happens all the time. But with the new league and everything going, I mean, it's good to see that we got close finishes like that.
I gotta give it to Gerald Poole. He's staying in line. Damaged, wounded truck and all. 28 trucks in a single file line, and Matthew Johnson work their way around Daytona.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, if I'm Matthew Johnson, I'm not in a bad spot right now. I mean, you got nobody behind you, you got nobody in front of you. You kind of got anywhere to go, anywhere that you want. I mean, there's going to be the gaps that open up and you can kind of slide in, but I think he's comfortable right where he is.
Certainly not forcing the issue anymore at the moment. And now, Landon, we see this happen a lot. We see it happen in real life, right? Drivers line up, and of course, you know, fans, they're not happy when this happens. Now, if you have a dog in a race, maybe you much prefer this, right? To make sure that your driver can make it to the end. But for the most part, most fans, you know, they don't appreciate, you know, these drivers kind of biding their time. But to a driver, it's so important to kind of sense that the entire field also wants to make it to the end of the race.
Yeah, and that's your main goal. And the main goal is to be there at the end. You know, there's some people just go for the win. Some people just say, hey, this is the goal, top 10 finish, get those bonus points, get those regular season points, and we're happy. But, I mean, it's, as a driver, personally, I found it sometimes, you know, it could be boring. Trust me, the fans don't love it at all.
He's gotten in line. Matthew Johnson has dropped in. Oh, somebody else jumped up.
The pack and Matthew Johnson.
Michael York, now he wants a piece of the action.
Yeah, he saw what Matthew was doing, and he's like, oh, let me try this.
Here's something important. Bobby Anderson and Justin Michael, they lost a little bit of touch to the pack. They almost lost the lead draft. And they're now drafting back up nicely. But for a moment there, it looked like the JBR, we'll call it trio, maybe quad right here. They almost lost the draft right here.
Yeah, and I think that was by design. I think they're just trying to get all lined up with each other, because that's when you can start making pretty good runs happen. And going back to being single file and having that bottom lane, you can start experimenting. And when you start pulling out and seeing what your truck can do and what your teammates can do with you, then everybody else starts to see that, and it's like, okay, we can do that too. So I'm excited to see when all the teams start linking up with each other, if that happens, and kind of see what kind of moves they start making.
So now it's the field and Michael York. And one of her truck looks like, I think maybe that was Reese Schaefer, just kind of getting realigned with his teammates back there. But Michael York trying to make something happen on the high side. Oh, and pit stops. Here we go. Drivers dropping down. Looks like we got Mueller and Matthew Johnson and Nathan Nixon. Just 3. All of them, ironically pitting near each other, and Nixon and the one of Matthew Johnson both slide through their box. That means Mueller is more than likely going to have to wait up for him. Down and away is the 26. The 15 gets down and away, and the 1 pulls away late. So that's unfortunate. 3 trucks come down to pit lane. They lose 1, and they all lose time if Mueller's going to wait on Nixon.
Yeah, that is definitely something that you don't want to happen, especially with this big of a track and the speeds that everybody's going. It's not good. Let's see if anybody else comes down, which doesn't look like they are. So those 3 drivers on a way different strategy than the others.
Yeah, I wonder what that call was. What did they short fill? Expecting what? I don't know, but we've now had 3 pit stops under green flag conditions. And now Byron McDonald and Kyle Westwood making something happen up high. Now Westwood kind of gets left. He gets to drop down. And there's Ryan Johnson, who you were talking about earlier, in the number 38 machine. He's got... Oh, who does that? Who's he got in tow there? Looks like that's the 77 of Michael Politis.
Yeah, the 2 teammates actually teaming up with each other.
They powered to the front.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to bring the 24 and the 48.
The inside lane just looks like it's stalled out for some reason, but...
My goodness. Are they saving fuel? I mean, what is happening?
I don't know. It looks like it.
I mean, they just overpowered the entire field. Ryan Johnson and Michael Politis. Now Hewins wants a piece.
I'm not too sure what's going on. Everybody's kind of just breaking up now.
Here comes Tank. The Tank push. Balliet leads Schaefer, Markle, and Zimmerman.
And that's what I mentioned about teams. That's what I mentioned about the teams. I mean, it's starting to make moves. I mean, we got coming about to lap 49.
Uh-oh, 1 truck.
And we got
Hewins, Jordan Sailors. Looks like Glenn Doyle, Kyle Gilbert, Bobby Anderson coming down the pit lane. Now, Bobby Anderson doesn't get to pit with his teammates there.
Yeah, that really surprises me. I mean, they were all lined up together.
Yeah, they were lined up. Unless...
No, Emerson, I'm kind of thinking, did some of these drivers take less fuel than the others just to get out ahead of another?
For track position, right? To maybe survive? Is that... Would these drivers do that?
Maybe they were banking on another caution to happen, but as of right now, I mean, everybody's calm and riding in a single lane. I don't think that's going to happen.
And here comes the front runners. Most of the field is coming down now. Oh, baby. And
this is the whole field.
This is the whole field, and I think they made it on there clean. How about that? Wow. Oh, the 8 truck. Oh, we got contact. Michael York in the grass. Trucks in the pit wall. And drivers turning in late. But I gotta give props to the field to at least making it to pit road in one piece. Because that was great. Looks like down... Yep.
I give him a 10 for getting on pit road, but I don't give him a 10 for maintaining pit road.
Ryan Johnson, Michael Politis, they come out. And looks like Nathan Nixon, they got lined up quick. They're gonna fly by Nathan Nixon, Josh Mueller, the rest of the field. And it's gonna be these top 2 lined up. Ryan Johnson, he's in no man's land. He doesn't have anyone behind him or in front of him. It's Michael Politis leading the tank train from 4th on back.
And now I'm looking at this call that Nixon and Mueller did. I don't know if this is actually a bad strategy. I mean, they obviously probably got enough fuel to make it to the end, but I mean, they're leading now, and they can just fall back into place with the main pack. So I think it was a good call.
A great point of track position, but Nathan Nixon and Josh Mueller, the top 2, have a 3-second lead over Ryan Johnson, and Johnson has no drafting help. Let's call it a 5-second lead over the rest of the field, Landon. I mean, this is crazy. Look, there's Ryan Johnson, and here comes the rest of the field. That's their lead.
Yeah, if I'm Ryan Johnson right now, I kind of want to play some games with this with the lead pack coming, and try to get a little bit of separation, try to get back in line. But I don't know. I mean, we've seen the draft here, and we've seen how crazy it could be, and sometimes a lot more cars than, you know, if you have a pack of 5 cars, if you have a pack of 2 cars. I mean, sometimes the pack of 2 cars is going to be a lot faster than the pack of 5 cars. So we'll see how this actually ends up.
So there we go. The gap, it's there. Balliet, the 1 and 3rd, and it looks like maybe Ryan Johnson, but nonetheless, it's the gap from 3rd place to the leader. 5 seconds. 24 laps. Can they close that gap down? And right now, it's not closing in the face. It's opening.
Yeah, and that's what I meant. I mean, I've noticed from, personally racing, if you're trying to get anywhere, you do not want to go side by side, because that just kills all the momentum, and they're not. So they're definitely doing the right thing right now, but they're not gaining any time at all.
They're losing so much time. You know what's crazy, Landon? Josh Mueller, he used to be a tank driver, man. And I was a tank driver too. We put a lot of time in the draft practice. And Mueller, he would be there. He would pick up on whatever tips we can. And look at him. He is shoving Nathan Nixon along. And you and I, we know Balliet and Schaefer. These two can push. And Mueller is pushing away from them.
Yeah, and this is just
crazy.
It really is. I mean, you kind of look at it and you're like, really? 2 cars just beat a pack of 20? It's
the only thing is, are they going to make it on fuel? Are they close? Do they have to save? Or are they good? Is the question.
Yeah, that's a really good question, because they pit, I want to say, probably 3 or 4 laps before the main pack did, but
right.
I mean, look, you're 6 seconds. You can kind of cut it in half if you want, save a little bit. I'm not sure how much it's going to save. And another big thing, if you're Mueller right now, you're using more gas than Nixon is. So sometimes maybe you just want to switch roles.
I think they're both using a lot of gas, because it's only 2 trucks.
That is true. That is true. But if there is any, sliver of, saving fuel, maybe switch positions and have one person lead and the other push.
Yeah, I wonder if that's the case, but I don't think these guys. I think Mueller is independent, and Nixon. I don't know if Nixon is even communicating with Mueller. Nixon, what team is Nathan Nixon on? Oh no, they're in race chat. They are together.
They're both independents.
Oh, wow.
But I am looking
Funny
at
how that works out.
the time now, and it does
Oh.
look like they're catching just a little bit, but they're not catching as fast as you would think.
Devin Zimmerman and Tyler Markle, they made their charge to the front of the second pack. And now Zimmerman trying to get Markle in line. And I think Tank, this is what Tank needed. They need to get 4 trucks lined up. I mean, I'm speaking from experience, but every time we were at Daytona, man, if we had 3 cars lined up, that was all we needed. I think if these guys, they can figure it out, they're going to catch those top 2.
I just want to point out something real quick. I'm not sure if you saw that, but Markle got pushed out on the outside lane. Drove around. He was about right next to the, I want to say the 5. Drove around Zimmerman and just got back in line. Is this new? I've never been able to do that.
I think the outside lane has some mysterious powers, man. You know what I'm thinking here, Landon? Timothy Latham, he's another guy that I know wants to get up and go. But he's not going right now. Is their fuel mileage still in concern? And is Tank kind of putting the fuel mileage concerns to the wayside in hopes to try to catch the leaders?
I don't... That's a very tough question. I mean, I think there's going to be a few drivers out there that have a little bit of concern because you are able to change how much fuel you can put in your truck. And there might be some people out there that put a little bit less, thinking that they can make it just to gain the track position. But as we're seeing right now, I mean, it's a 3-car pack now.
They picked up a lapper, Michael York.
And that's going to help them out because the second pack is coming. I mean, they stalled out for a few seconds, but they're starting to pick back up.
So Nixon and Mueller trying to control this race, 3 seconds out. But at the moment, it looks like some impending doom as the Tank Quad and company, because it's not just Tank. They're going to bring all the friends.
Yeah, all of them. I mean,
this could look very gloom for these top 2 here in a bit.
I'm just looking at it right now. I mean, you get a 3-car pack here. You got a 4-pack with Tank. You got a 4-pack behind them that are all together, and then you get a little gap, and then it's the rest of the guys. So I think everybody's starting to coop up in packs. I'm not.
I just wonder, is there that fuel concern? Is Tank's priority to catch the leaders and then save fuel? Is there even a concern? Am I just blowing it out of proportion? I don't know, but our job is to speculate and keep you engaged. But I'm engaged.
I'm very engaged, and as you can see right now, I mean, the Tank caught back up to Nixon and Mueller, and I'm looking right now, and we're worrying about fuel, but once everybody starts getting back together, people can start kind of calming down a little bit, taking their foot off the gas, and saving, just a little extra gas. So I'm concerned, but I'm excited. As much as I don't want anybody to run out of fuel, especially on the last lap, I'm excited to see what happens.
Well, here we go. Tank, Balliet, and Schaefer, they have caught the draft of the lap truck of Michael York, Josh Mueller, and Nathan Nixon. And now, for a little bit here, Landon, this is where it gets hard to push, because all of a sudden Reese was glued to Balliet's tailgate, but now Balliet has draft. That's pulling him away from Reese.
Yeah, the draft works in mysterious ways. It does, and it always has. So if I'm Balliet right now, I would just be calm, just make sure that your teammate Schaefer and Markle and Zimmerman, they're on your bumper, because you already know how fast you guys are as running as a pack. So if you guys just stay together, I think you should be fine. And again, we've seen the outside work completely different than, I'm pretty sure, what we've seen the past couple seasons or years. So don't count out the outside lane either.
Landon, look at what we're watching here. It's hard for these guys to get linked up because the top 3 are so fast. Well, the top 2 in the lap truck, they're so fast. I mean, I think what's going to happen here is I think Balliette's going to have to drag the brake. I don't think they're going to link up naturally.
Yeah, I am not sure what's going on. I've never seen this before. This is new to me. I mean, they were 6 seconds back, caught up. Now they're 1.5 seconds back, and they've just been stuck there. And
notice the gap between Zimmerman and Latham.
Yeah, it's a 2-second gap. I mean, this is
the rest of the field lost the draft. I mean, what is going on? So there it is. Balliette dragged the brake. Now they're getting a little bit more lined up here.
And
Nathan Nixon and Josh Mueller, they're doing a great job, though. Making everyone work for this one.
Yeah, and having the 84 up there as well is helping them a lot, too. But it also can affect them because 84 is kind of relying on their draft, and it can kind of slow them down a little bit. But, I mean, we got ourselves an 8-car pack here.
8-car pack, 7 up to play. And there's some motion going on back here. The field, they're not happy with Timothy Latham leading the field. Kyle Westwood jumps up, and he's now taking charge of the high side. Ryan Johnson finds his way back in line. And now Kyle Westwood takes control of the field with Jay McDonald, Ryan Johnson, Timothy Latham. So some rumblings going on for 7th. Will it be enough to catch up?
Yeah, and going back to what you said about fuel mileage, I don't know if the 5 has enough fuel to make it. I mean, Latham just doesn't seem to be like he wants to go anywhere. I mean, it could be because the truck's just stalling out, but I don't know. This pack is it's weird.
Well, now Westwood heads a 3-truck breakaway. Latham is not following. There might be fuel concerns. Latham would go at this point if he was good on fuel.
Yeah, and just the fact that these 3 drivers took the outside past about 5 cars and just pulled away from that pack. I mean, if I'm somebody in the back who doesn't need to worry about fuel and has saved enough, I would be doing what they're doing. As you can see, there's 2 more drivers following them. So
Politis and McAvoy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in this backpack, I mean, there's 11 to go, 10 to go. It's go time because you're going to be taking that amount of time to catch up, if you even can.
And look at the intensity of tank has completely tapered off. And it's now allowing the 48, the 24, the 38 to catch up. Now Politis and McAvoy to catch up. I think there is fuel concerns. I think Tank's concern was to catch the leaders first and save fuel. Well, will that bite them?
You know, looking at it right now, though, I think that second big pack is in a good spot because you got that 2-car tandem that's right in the middle. They got the draft of that backpack, but they also have the draft of the first pack. So I don't know. I just don't know, Emerson.
Now the 48 of Westwood and the 24 McDonald, the 38 of Ryan Johnson, they've caught the leaders, and they're not making a big move. Now Michael York, the lap truck, is going to play into the hands of Politis and McAvoy, and all of a sudden we're packing up front again. And more rumblings back here. Now we're really packed up.
Yeah, like I mentioned, 10 to go, it's go time, especially for this backpack, but I'd like to see with the 48 of Westwood and that pack that he had, just to see how, if they do stall out, because we did see Tank stall out just a little bit. Up. Well, they did catch up, but I'm not sure if they're going to make any moves, because I'd like to see, as I say that, they're getting a little dicey up here.
I think they're trying to make something happen, but I mean, let's be real again. Nathan Nixon and Josh Mueller, I mean, this is phenomenal stuff. They have bamboozled the field, and they are making everyone work probably some of the hardest drafting in their life to try to just catch them. But now here we go, Landon. Everyone's packed up. And it's go time.
It is beyond go time. And
Right on cue.
and like I said, I mean, I just saw the 15 and the 26 just pull away again, and now we got a battle for the lead.
And there's a new leader. Kyle Westwood has taken the lead here at Daytona. They have caught Nixon and Mueller, and now Westwood and Jay McDonald are gonna go to the point. They're not clear yet. And now here comes the 8 of Morton. He's back. The 13 of Michael. He's back.
Where did these guys come from? 2 laps ago, they were sitting very last, and now they're up here battling for the lead. I
mean, 10 laps ago, these guys were like 6 seconds back.
Exactly. And what, 2 laps ago, we were just talking about how these drivers may or may not catch up to this main pack. The setup in the way that the draft is working is just phenomenal. I mean, there's so many opportunities for runs here, and it's crazy.
So now is a waiting game. If you're on the border of fuel mileage, if you're gonna make it or not, you're just hoping and praying that the draft is strong enough to pull you along where you have to lift off the gas and save a little bit of fuel. For what it's worth, Landon, with 7 laps to go, still a lot of this pack is single file. I think there's still a lot of fuel concerns. As I say that, Johnson, Politis, McAvoy, Hosler, they jump up. Not Matthew Johnson. A lot of drivers just jumped up to the high lane now. Notice he's not jumping up though. Tank. I think they are saving fuel. Uh-oh, the top 2 are pitting.
Yeah, we called it.
Oh man.
we were concerned about that, and it looks like it got them. But I will tell you though, I mean, if everybody else is in the same boat, I mean, because they pitted what, three laps before them,
right?
I mean, we still got 6 to go.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Who else is gonna have trouble here? And what if we have a caution? That's just gonna be more time that you're just out there wasting gas.
Tyler Markle took the lead after that pit stop. Carry on.
Maybe they're in a good spot.
Rewind. I mean, oh, baby. That was the 85 of Brad Herman. He's slotted in line. 3 wide, and Michael to the point. Now Herman wants to go up to second. They clear up to the high side. Uh-oh, there's a lap truck pitting from the middle of the racetrack. 3 by 3 by 3, now 5 laps to go.
You want to see good racing? You got it.
Absolutely.
Man, this is phenomenal. I mean, I'm speechless. Absolutely speechless. I don't know what to say. These guys are putting on a hell of a show.
Look who's here. Dean Brummett from the back of the field. He has made his appearance. Dean Brummett, one of the legend names here in Speed Racing Network. He's back up front for another Daytona race victory opportunity.
And I'm not going to point it out now, but there are 4 JBR drivers lined up on the outside all together.
How about that? The teammates, they have found themselves. They've linked up once again. Do they have the fuel? Does anyone have the fuel to live? Another 10 miles around the big, bad super speedway that is Daytona, the world center of racing. Justin Michael now holds serve in the middle of the racetrack. Dean Brummett in tow. Austin Purnell, Bradley Brandon. You see a lot of backfire, exhaust flames coming out the sides of these trucks. That means these guys are lifting, and they're still lifting a lot, trying to save that fuel.
Yeah, if I'm JBR right now, I am sticking together. As you see Brad Herman taking it 3 wide on the outside, see if he can get something going, but it just doesn't look like anybody wants to go with him.
3 laps to go. I think anybody would take that if they weren't trying to make a fuel number right now. Marco getting a little loose, a little tight, I guess, on that inside lane. We're about to go 4 wide here, 4 wide with the lap truck. Everyone nice and calm and clean, though. Got to give it props to the whole field through that one to make it through one piece.
Yeah, we're getting a little spicy here. I mean, it's 3 to go. It's go time. At this point, I'm not worried about fuel. If I make it, I make it. If not, I
It's go
don't.
time
You know,
now. Don't
it
even
is
look down.
exactly. I'm switching the page on my iRacing thing, and I am going full throttle.
Oil
So,
pressure, fuel pressure, forget about it. 5 miles, send it.
exactly. If I'm blowing up, I'm blowing up.
Well, here we go. There's a lap truck on the inside. That's Josh Mueller. With 2 laps to go, 5 miles to settle it. Mueller, who had a huge say in the ending of this race, he's now parking up in front of the tank trucks. Justin Michael, Dean Brummett, now lined up there in the middle of the racetrack. Herman with the run up high. A beautiful block from Justin Michael. And now trying to get to the outside. Michael continues to block Herman, and now 3 wide as Westwood jumps to the middle. We're coming around to 1 lap to go.
You want to throw a beautiful block? That's what you call a beautiful block. That was that's something that you don't see, and just the integrity of these drivers and how.
3 wide.
Oh, wow, that was a little too close. Justin Michael getting put in the middle and going backwards.
Dean Brummett to the inside. He's got the prime position now. 3 wide. Michael fighting the sucker hole. Westwood trying to make something happen on the high side. Dean Brummett leads. Austin Pernell and Bradley Brandon on the last lap here at Daytona.
If I'm JBR right now, I am sticking to that spot. I am not moving because you got 3 guys for JBR. Just 1, 2, and 3. Clear space. Not a worry in sight.
Off the final corner. Dean Brummett trying to bring it back home, and Dean Brummett is gonna win here at Daytona. Purnell and Brandon is a JBR top 3 as the field wrecks behind them. Massive wreck, trucks on their side, bumpers laying everywhere.
What a race, Emerson. What a race.
Fantastic stuff.
We had a little bit of everything. Fuel mileage. We had 1 caution. That's spectacular. And we had such a phenomenal finish. I mean, round of applause for these guys.
Absolutely craziness there at the end of this race. I mean, that is something else. And there's Dean Brummett. We might have a moment to go grab a replay of that accident. Let's go and try to. And here we go. The field all packed up. Marco gets into Morton. Back up the track. Marco takes a big hit to the inside wall. We'll get more looks at the accident there at the end. After we take a look at Dean Brummett's celebration. And Dean Brummett, he's going to be the one heading to EPI Victory Lane here at Daytona.
How about Dean? I mean, wasn't in the mix all day, kept it clean, was there at the end, did what he needed to do, and got the win. How about that?
I mean, phenomenal stuff, man. Great job from the field, honestly, tonight to bring a very entertaining race. And, you know, we thought a lot was going to happen there, Landon, and we still, you know, we were questioning, you know, are they going to make it? You know, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the one to prevail? And it's Dean Brummett. I mean, get a load of this guy, man. He does not go away when it comes to SRN.
No, he does not. And if you've been in SRN, you definitely know the name Dean Brummett, and you know how fast he is. So, you know, this isn't one of them, oh, he just won Daytona, he won't be there, you know, the next couple of races. Oh, he will. Trust me, he will.
And Dean Brummett, not entirely sure what's next for the celebration for the 31 machine. Maybe he's ran it out of fuel. I think he might have ran it out of fuel. And so we'll bring on up driver of the number 31. Dean, brother, it's good to hear from you again. Congratulations on taking the season opener. Where did he come from?
But I tell you what, I don't even know where I came from. We sat there that whole race and managed fuel, and we got the call with like 10 to go that we should be good, and I just wanted to kind of still ride a little bit. I hate it for my teammate that he ran out of fuel. I mean, he did such a good job saving and strategizing, but in the end, I'm glad I could park this thing in victory lane tonight. I just hate it for my only thing I hate it for more is my owner, who hired a really stupid driver who can't put on the right car and paint scheme.
Oh man. Nonetheless, though, looking good in style. I'm sure you'll get that all fixed up for the next time out, Dean. But I know it's been a minute since you ran some SRN racing, and is glad to have you back. We're glad to have you back, man. What brings you back?
Man, I managed this week. Been at my job for about 2 years, and been working evening shifts for a while, and managed to get on first shift. And I've been talking with Jonathan Byer for a little bit, and asking him, or telling him, hey, I don't know if I'm going to get to go. Don't know if I will. Don't know if I won't. Finally, I had to tell him no, I can't. And then 2 days later, it turned into a yeah, I can. And the seat was already filled, but unfortunately, there was some things that fell out for another driver, and he asked me if I'd run it, and got in here, and yeah, here we go. Like I said, I cannot stand restrictor plate racing, and here I am finally in victory lane with one.
Well, we know you, Dean. You're no stranger to Speed Racing Network. I'm sure it was a blast for you to come back and see a bunch of the names you recognize from back in the day. But talk about the feel of the race. I mean, I know it's SRN, but there's a whole new twist to it. There's a whole load of new names that you didn't know, and you started at the back of the field, so you really got to experience most of the names, most of the field as you drove through the field tonight. What was the atmosphere like in the pack?
For me and for my teammates, they had to listen to me complain the whole time about it turning into a fuel mileage race, and I mean, it was so different to go from sending it 100% at a racetrack to saving that much fuel, and everybody knew it. Like, everybody was of the same mind, and I got to give credit to everybody just for the fact of they chose not to be dumb at any point, right? Everyone was on the same strategy. Everyone knew you had to make it to the end, and that's exactly what they did. And like I said, I know some guys pitted a little sooner than others. We were kind of under the mindset of, hey, that's not going to work. We won't really be racing them. But, it got to the end, and when we got to that very last lap, or coming to the 2 to go, I said, hey, there's a run coming high. And I said, I'm going to shove everything that I've got for you here. And as I shoved, 13 goes to the high lane to block, and I didn't think we were going to make it, so I kind of wiggled down low just to get a little run. Well, when I did, also had a push from behind, and it propelled me straight up to the front. Had fuel behind me from Austin, and I had the fuel to make it to the end. So we just said, hey, we're going to stay linked here. And it was just weird to not have a side-by-side finish at a plate race.
It was a very intriguing ending to this race, nonetheless, Dean. But once again, I'm glad you're back, man. I'm glad to be able to call Dean Brummett to some races here at Speed Racing Network. Landon, do you have any questions for Dean before we close things off here?
I do not. I think you asked them all, but just want to say congratulations on the season opener win, Dean. It's glad seeing you back. I know. I don't think me and you have ever kind of raced together in the series, because you raced other SRN series than I did, but I know you, and glad to have you a part of Jonathan Byer Racing. I mean, they're still my main home team, so good to have you a part of the JBR family.
Well, thank you, buddy. Like I said, maybe next week the driver can remember which truck's supposed to come off the hauler. This week it was really cool. I love this paint job. Absolutely love it. At least I still got a 31 on the door. I think I might be the first driver, I don't know, to win in the truck, Xfinity and Cup Series in SRN. But regardless of that, we won tonight. We got the JBR 123, and Brummett 316 says I'm stuck in this grass.
Well, we'll go ahead and get some some safety vehicles out there to get you out of there, get you to EPI victory lane, Dean. Once again, congratulations on a crazy win tonight. And again, I'm still thinking, man, where did he come from? But man, congratulations. Celebrate hard, man. That was awesome.
Hey, thank you, buddy. Have a good night. It's time to go to bed and get up for work in the morning. Have a good night, one.
There you go, man. Have a great night. And there it is, driver of the number 31, Dean Brummett, taking victory here tonight at Daytona. Landon, it is a JBR top 3, so we'll be talking to your guys all night. We'll bring up second place finisher, driver of the number 36, Austin Purnell. He's all yours, Landon.
Austin Purnell coming home with the P2 finish. JBR 123. Tell us how you came back. I mean, we saw you. It looked like we saw you kind of hit the wall on pit road during the green flag pit stops, but you came back, battled back in P2.
Yeah, man, that was crazy. I was surprised. I had 40 seconds of damage. I really thought I was going to be dead in the water. Not only that, just kind of having to push with those 3 cars. I can't quite remember who they were. Back up to catch the pack, and then I ran out right there coming to the line. But it was just so awesome to get JBR 123. I won't leaving Dean's bumper for sure.
That's always it's always great to hear if you're one of the teammates that you're racing with. Obviously you've been around for a few seasons now, and one of my great personal friends. I'm glad to see you back with JBR. How's it feel to be back with a team that I want to say cares about you a lot? A lot of teams care about each other, but I know JBR takes it to a different standpoint. And what does that kind of put your mindset towards for the rest of the season?
Oh yeah, of course. That's a big reason I'm here is because of Jonathan and just everybody, the whole team atmosphere here. A lot of these guys, this is my first time actually racing with pretty much, I think all of us, but we immediately clicked and just worked together well all night. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this whole season.
That's perfect to hear. And again, congratulations on the P2 finish. Again, another one of them, like, where did he come from finishes? But Emerson, you got anything to add on?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Justin kind of went up to block the top lane. We knew someone had to go up there. We didn't really know which one it was going to be. And like I said, I didn't want to leave Dean's bumper because honestly, if I got out in that clean air, I was going to run out of gas because like I said, I ran out as soon as I hit the start finish line. Like if it had just been like just a tenth of a mile further, I probably wouldn't even been able to hold on a second. So, I was just telling Bradley, I was like, hey, if I run out here, I'm going to duck low so you can have the spot. But it ended up working out. All right, I appreciate. I just want to give a shout out to Hyde's Food Cleaners, Maker Days Barbecue, just all the JBR's other partners, and yeah, look forward to Vegas.
I hate to interrupt real quick, Emerson, but your mic is muted on the other side.
Yep, there it is. So, yeah, Bradley, once again, welcome. Congratulations on your third place finish tonight, Bradley. And yeah, I know again you're a newer name to me, but you've been with rocking with JBR this off season. What was the team dynamic like? Tell us about your race, man.
Yeah, so it was actually pretty good. We were kind of in the driver's seat there at the end for stage one. We were kind of getting ready to pit, and then that caution came out, so kind of threw a wrench in our plans. And then the entire race ended up just being a fuel strategy. Just hang out, buy your time, and I think with 10 to go, we got the green light that you're good to go. So we got to the front, and rather interesting ending with everyone running out, but we saved it. We ended up having a whole extra lap of fuel, so we did something right.
There you go. And I'd say a third place finish is doing something right tonight, Bradley. What was it like assimilating to a new league? As this was, the first points race of the season. This was really your first chance to really get the race with almost the entire series roster. What was that like, kind of assimilating into the league? I know you started 12th, so you were kind of towards the front, but really in that midfield, you got to experience a lot of different guys.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of clean racing. I think everyone kind of had the same thing of just, buying your time, kind of making it through. Um, Usually super speedways, you see the 2 wide, 3 wide, some bonehead moves or mistakes, and you really didn't see that today. Um, Greater level of respect, especially with the IR, the I rating that we're dealing with here. But no, we wanted to go to the back at the start, but we kind of decided to kind of hang out there, and then somehow we made it to the lead, led a lap, and then started going to fuel saving mode.
Well, there you are, third place finisher Bradley Brandon. Landon, you got any questions for our third place finisher this evening?
Yeah, I just got one. I mean, I kind of asked all the new JVR guys because I mean, there's a lot of new guys. Even yourself. I asked Purnell this. I mean, what is now that you kind of experienced what it is to race? I know it's Daytona and a lot can happen, but I think I want to say that this race is a lot of team bonding, sort of say. So, I mean, what kind of mindset does this give you for the rest of the season, considering that this is your new team that you're going to be with for however many weeks there are?
Oh, absolutely. This definitely, we all gelled well. It's my first time racing with all 5 of them, so we talked the entire race, whether it's strategy or, oh, this is what we're doing, this is why we do it, and just seeing everyone's insight on why we do this or why we want to do this. Um, Daytona is one thing, but I think that's going to help with other tracks, um, where someone could be good at a track like Texas, and someone could be struggling, and they're there to help us out throughout the race, whether you're adjusting your steering or your brake bias. I think that's going to help a lot.
Perfect. You can't really get a better answer than that. And again, congratulations, Bradley, on the P3 finish. I'm excited to have you around and experience this brand new SRN season. And again, congratulations, and hope to hear from you again.
Yeah, absolutely, Landon Emerson. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Absolutely. And there it is. That was our third place finisher, Bradley Brandon, and a very JBR filled evening. JBR has reason to celebrate. They pulled the right strategy, they played the right timing, and they end up with the victory this evening, Landon. But we do have a whole field to kind of discuss how everyone came to the checkers. So let's go ahead and pull up our race results this evening, and let's see just where everybody ended up tonight. And so here we go. It's Dean Brummett with the race victory this evening. Austin Purnell coming home in second. Bradley Brandon comes across the line in third. Mark Morton comes home in fourth. He put a lot of drivers on notice tonight with his very powerful performance in the early going this evening. Kyle Westwood rounds out the top 5. Tyler Markle 6th. Byron McDonald 7th. Devin Zimmerman 8th. Justin Michael 9th. And Brad Herman rounds out the top 10. Landon?
Yeah, in 11th, we have Kyle Gilbert, another newcomer into the SRN season. Reese Schaefer in 12th. Alb Hewins, and we saw him in the beginning of the race. He was definitely up there making some moves, so that's somebody I think we should watch out for. 14th, Craig Schroeder. And rounding out the top 15, Brian McAvoy. In 16th, we have, no, I wouldn't say newcomer, but definitely somebody, again, to watch out for the rest of the season, Ryan Johnson. 17th, Micah Politis. 18th, Timothy Latham, another SRN veteran. 19, Lane Hosler. And rounding out the top 20, Cole Martin.
Rounding out the back end of the grid this evening, I'll go at 21st, Jordan Sailors. It'll be 22nd, Lane Doyle. 23rd, Bobby Anderson. That's kind of the lead pack, and the rest was Heartbreakers Row. Joshua Balliet looks like he ran out of fuel there at the end. He'll finish 24th. Nathan Nixon, man, for someone who led so much there at the end, that is unfortunate for Nixon and Mueller. Nixon comes home 25th, 39 seconds off the pace. Michael York 26th. He played a big factor there at the end for Nixon and Mueller. Unfortunately, Josh Mueller ends up a lap down to 27th. What could have been for Nixon and Mueller. That was a great story for a while. It lasted. Matthew Johnson comes across the line 28th, 1 lap down. 2 laps off the pace. Unfortunately, Gerald Poole, one of the 2 drivers that caused the only caution tonight for incident. Gerald Poole 2 laps down off the pace, and Sean Jensick did not see the end of this one, coming home 55 laps down after that big accident on lap number 20. Well, Landon, it was a very chaotic night there towards the end. A very calm race, and I think a great showing for what this series can be, what this series can kind of show for these drivers tonight. You kind of heard it there with Bradley there in his interview. The respect that these drivers have with the I ratings these guys are dealing with. I think it makes a great mixture. We have a great group of guys in this series that's looking to provide some great racing for the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, Emerson, I couldn't agree more. I mean, what a phenomenal show that these guys put on, and we saw a little bit of everything. We saw clean racing, we saw pit strategy, we saw pit stops that went wrong and went well. I mean, you can't really ask for a broadcast and a race that has a little bit of everything in it. And I just want to point out what a great, like you mentioned, what a great group of drivers that we have incorporated in this SRN Glytch series. It's phenomenal. I mean, from me being here for, I want to say this is my 4th year as part of SRN, and I want to say this is your 4th or 5th year as well. Yeah. We've seen a lot, and it kind of all starts from week 1, and this is week 1, and this is exciting, and it's kind of surreal, like hopefully that we can get the same kind of product next week, and I'm not doubting that we aren't going to get it, because how racing is going lately in this series and an Xfinity series, and then our other truck series, I'm all for it. So great race, great group of guys, very, very clean with only 1 caution tonight. That's something everybody should be proud of. So again, super excited.
Absolutely, Landon. You mentioned next week and what's coming up next for Speed Racing Network. Of course, tomorrow night we have the Z Grills Xfinity Series, Landon. They're taking to Daytona, and I should be on the call for that one. I'll find out who my partner is. Well, I guess soon. Sometime within the next 24 hours, I'm going to find out who I'm commentating with tomorrow. But until then, yeah, I'll be on the call for the Z Grills Xfinity Series season opener tomorrow night at Daytona. Tuesday night, the 5B Truck Series, they take to Las Vegas for their 2nd race of the season. And of course, Wednesday night, we'll be back in action, Landon, taking coverage of the Glytch A Truck Series from Las Vegas. Landon, would you go ahead and shout out maybe our social media outlets this evening?
Yeah, absolutely. And we got everybody, I want you to go check out our Facebook page. It's going to be facebook.com/Speed Racing Network, and where you can find all our up-to-date news, links to everything, the SRN shop as well. There's some stuff that got released with the Glytch series, the Truck series, and the Xfinity series. Also our Instagram page as well, /Speed Racing Network, YouTube channel, which again, Speed Racing Network. And then our Twitch, we kind of broadcast on 2 different things. So our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, Twitch being Speed Racing speedracingnetwork.net, and then our main website, speedracingnetwork.com.
Give a quick shout out to the Twitter and the LinkedIn, of course, twitter.com/speedracingnet. That's a Twitter account for SRN, and of course, LinkedIn. There's an SRN account there as well, linkedin.com/company/speedracingnetwork.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere, man. You can't miss them. But yeah, Landon, a great race. We'll have points next week to go over as well. So that'll be fun. That's something we haven't done yet, points, because, well, there hasn't been any. But we got some stage points given out tonight to the 8 of Mark Morton getting 10 of those. And then, of course, the race finish points, because that was a fantastic finish as well. And all those drivers will be deserving of their race finish points tonight. But I think that'll do it from Daytona. Thank you all for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. For all at Speed Racing Network, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the Z-Girls Xfinity Series and their season opener at Daytona, or next Wednesday night when the Glytch Truck Series takes to Virtual Sin City.